The birds.
I awoke and there were no birds. The eucalyptus tree outside my hooch housed a teeming world of birds whose song usually accompanied my waking. But they were silent. I put on my PTs, filled my coffee mug, and stepped outside into the early sunlight. It was not hot yet. On the sidewalk beneath the eucalyptus tree were the birds. They were still, lying on their sides. These birds were mostly gray, but had black dappling around their neck and along their wings. They were soft and delicate, and the sidewalk did not feel their weight. The explanation came in small, silent tufts of ruffled feathers. One had a bead of blood behind its eye. A mortar had detonated on the roof that night. Shrapnel had peppered the eucalyptus branches. I looked up and saw Ahmed coming languidly down the path with a broom and a dustpan to sweep them up. He wore his dirty white Gilligan's hat as always.
Sabah al-khair,
I said.
Sabah al-nur,
he said, and nodded. Ahmed had taught me these phrases, and I wondered how many of my fellow troops suspected him to have played a part in the night's mortaring. On the roof, the mortar landed by the metal chair, the chair I sat in when I called home. That spot on the roof had strong cell phone reception, so some soldier had placed a chair there. The chair was gnarled and bent, blown through and mangled by shrapnel. A quarter of it was buried into the exposed and long-dead AC ducts on the roof. The silver, mirroring sheen of the duct was now punctuated by the rips and perforations of mortar shrapnel and had been partially invaded by the grotesque metal chair. One ray of the mortar blast sent the chair into the shining duct. The opposite ray riddled the eucalyptus tree and its dust-covered leaves. Other mortars fell that night. 3 landed in Graceland. One on my roof, another by the smoking tent, and the last into a trash dumpster. The rest of the volley fell elsewhere in our fob in places that I did not see. The mortar that detonated over by the smoking tent had splintered and chipped the concrete blocks of the dividing wall. The opposite blast ray of that same mortar slammed into the outside wall of our new latrine building and disintegrated a window before it shattered the mirror that hung above one of the sinks. Pieces of broken mirror fell into the sink and onto the tile floor, and I assumed Ahmed would get that too. The last mortar had disemboweled the dumpster, though it continued to stand upright on its 4 rolling wheels. It had a gaping hole in its abdomen, and trash was strewn forth like the stuff of a knifed pillow. At 2100, the enemy volley had come, and there had been no soldiers in the smoking tent. There had been no soldiers in the bathroom brushing teeth and preparing for sleep. There had been no soldiers calling home to catch their families before they went off to school and work for the day. For some reason or other, soldiers were absent their normal places. Routines had shifted. All of us had done something different that night. Save the birds. It was time for breakfast, so I walked through the gate in the dividing wall toward the DFAC. My rifle was slung on my back, muzzle toward the earth. 2 30-round magazines jangled together in my cargo pocket. I felt the sun on my shaven face and the day grow hot.